Good morning to everyone. I am Professor Razu Rolakanti. In this course, I am going to introduce the probability and stochastic processes. That is the subject name, which is meant for BTech second year first semester students of JNTU Hyderabad R18 regulations. In the previous video, I have given the syllabus, everything, introductory video, that is. Today I am going to give you lecture number 2, unit 1, lecture number 2. The subject is probability theory and stochastic processes. The shortcut of this one is PTSP. Today I am going to give you the second lecture on this series. The title of the second lecture is Probability Introduced Through Sets and Relative Frequency. So in this topic there are two topics are there. One is probability introduced through the sets, that is one topic. The other topic is the probability introduced through relative frequency. Of course, I belongs to St. Peter's Engineering College, Hyderabad. This is an UGC autonomous institution. I belongs to Department of ECE. So, Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University, Hyderabad, students of second year, BTech second year, first semester, R18 syllabus, applicable from 2018 to 19 admitted batch. So this lecture is useful for second year first semesters. In my college, I am teaching second BTech first semester, ECEA, B and C students. So I once again remember you, this is a course for BTech second year first semester. You see, the syllabus is like this. In the first video I explained everything. Briefly I want to explain. The title of the subject is Probability Theory and Stochastic Processes. The shortcut of this is PTSP, that is on red marked. The course code is EC305ES. Lecture hours per week is 3 and credits are 3. Out of these subjects, this is one subject for you. This is the syllabus. It has 5 units. Unit 1, probability and random variables. Unit 2, operations on single and multiple random variables. Unit 3, random processes, temporal characteristics. Unit 4, random process spectral characteristics. The last unit is 5th unit, noise source and information theory. In the first video I given what are the books you have to follow. Once again I want to remind you that first textbook is probability, random variables and random signal principles, Peebles, and local author, if you want, I suggest the local author name is Probability Theory and Stochastic Process by Y. Mallikarjun Reddy. It is a local author's book. It is a good book. Moreover, I want to give you another book, Probability, Random Variables and Random Processes. It is a Sam's Outline series. So this is the author is Shu, HSU. Spelling is HSU, Shu. So it is Sam's Outline series for problem solvers. So there are 3 books I am giving out of these books. Of course, these 3 are very important for you. Coming to first unit, you see here the first unit is like this. First unit divided into 2 types, probability and random variables. In this section, I am going to give you the probability concept. Entire probability concept I want to give you. That means probability introduced to the sets and relative frequency. After that, I am going to give you what is an experiment, sample spaces, experiments and sample spaces, discrete and continuous sample spaces, events, probability definitions and axioms, joint probability, conditional probability, total probability, Bayes theorem, independent events. Up to this I am going to cover in this video. That means this first unit is divided into two parts. One is random probability, one is probability, another one is random variables. You see here it is random variables. You can see this, it is random variables. So this is the first unit. So this is divided into two parts. You see here, first I want to introduce you what is an experiment. Our subject starts with an experiment. This is the first thing you have to understand. Any process of observation is called an experiment. All of you please, any process of observation is called an experiment. That leads to one of the several possible outcomes. Whenever there is a experiment, there are some outcomes. Several possible outcomes are there for an experiment. For example, I want to explain what is an experiment. You see, flipping a coin. Suppose if you are flipping a coin, the output may be heads or tails. My dear students, please remember here it is not head, it is not tail. In this subject we call this one as heads and tails. Heads and tails. The outcome of flipping a coin may be head or tail. Suppose if you take exam marks. Exam marks, the output of the exam marks may be 0, 1 to 100. Suppose course grades you take. Suppose course grades. The person is getting what is the score in the examination. That is called grades. Fail. If he is failed, F comes. Some next D, C, B, A plus plus or O. O stands for outstanding. This type of grades, as you know, we are going to get. So for every experiment, there are several possible outcomes. So one of several possible outcomes is known as outcome of that experiment. We will consider all possible outcomes in that one. You see, now I am going to the first topic. Probability introduced through sets and relative frequency. My dear students, you know what is probability introduced through sets. You are all completely studied intermediate. After the intermediate, we are coming to the graduation. At intermediate level, you have studied the algebra of sets. So sets, operations, all you studied Venn diagrams and identities you have studied. What are the sets operations? In the sets operations, we are going to equality. Two sets A and B are equal, denoted A is equal to B, if and only if A is a subset of B and B is also a subset of A. Then we call it is equal, we know. Complementation, you know, union, intersection, null set, disjoint sets, all those things you know. So this is we studied. Venn diagrams also we studied in intermediate level, and identities also we studied. Commutative laws, associative laws, distributive laws, and then De Morgan laws. In this section, before going into a subject, one must very familiar with this set theory. Set theory is the basis for this probability theory or prerequisite. So I am not giving much about probability introduced through sets. If you want, I will do one more video. There I can discuss. But now I am going to give you here is more about relative frequency. You see, what is probability? The probability, the study of probability stems from the analysis of certain games of chance. It has found applications in most branches of engineering and science and economics. Nowadays, artificial intelligence is also depends in this one. Suppose if you want to become AI engineer or cloud computing engineering, if you want to go for machine learning or cloud anything, you need this probability. In various fields, any science and engineering, we need probability. In this chapter, I am going to explain the basic concept of the probability theory. Now, I want to give you experiment. In the study of probability, any process of observation is referred to as an experiment, as we explained previous. What is a trial? A single performance of experiment is called a trial, for which there is an outcome. A single performance of an experiment is called a trial, for which there is an outcome. Suppose if you are tossing a coin once, the output may be heads or tails. That one time observation is called a trial. Outcomes, then first one is experiment, then trial. What is an experiment? Any process of observation is referred to as an experiment. So what is an experiment? Any process of observation. What is a trial? A single performance of the experiment. What is outcome? The results of an observation are called outcomes of the experiment. For any observation, there are certain results. So the results of an observation are called outcomes of the experiment. Then what is a random experiment? An experiment is called a random experiment if its outcome cannot be predicted. We cannot say what is the outcome of the experiment. Suppose we cannot predict the outcome of the experiment, then that experiment is known as a random experiment. Random experiment. Now the very important concept and we should understand to the subject, we should understand what is the sample space. The most important thing, the primary and fundamental, the beginning concept in the subject is sample space. So let us discuss what is a sample space. The set of all possible outcomes of a random experiment is called the sample space, and it is denoted by capital letter S. You remember all possible outcomes. For a random experiment, there are certain outputs, all possible outcomes. Suppose if you are making them as a set, the set of all possible outcomes of a random experiment is called the sample space. I want to relate this with the set theory. In set theory, there is a universal set. The universal set, how the universal set, the concept is there in set theory, in probability also sample spaces. That means universal set contains all the sets. So it is a universal set. Similarly here, sample space means all possible outcomes of a random experiment. So what is in a set theory we are going to call element. In a set there is element. So many number of elements are there, containing all the possible elements in one set, that is called universal set. Here also we are calling that one all possible outcomes of a random experiment as sample space. Now the second point is sample point. An element in S is called a sample point. Simply try to understand. Element, an element in S is called a sample point. Each outcome of a random experiment corresponds to a sample point. Each outcome of a random experiment corresponds to a sample point. So, random experiment, there is an outcome. Each outcome is known as a sample point. Let us see one problem to understand what is a sample space and all those things. Find the sample space for the experiment of tossing a coin A once, B twice. There are two problems A and B here. Find the sample space for the experiment. What is that experiment? Tossing a coin one time, tossing a coin twice. Suppose tossing a coin once, what we are going to get? We are going to get heads or tails. Let us solve this problem. A bit. There are two possible outcomes, heads or tails. You see here, thus sample space S is equal to set of capital H comma capital T. That means here where H and T represents heads and tails respectively. H means head, T means tail. Therefore, there are two possible outcomes when we are tossing a coin once. Suppose tossing a coin twice, what is that? There are four possible outcomes. They are pairs of heads and tails. The S is equal to set of HH. Suppose if you are tossing the two coins, they may give you, both coins give you head, that means HS, or one coin gives you head, another coin gives tail, therefore the combination H and T, or first coin gives, one coin gives tail, another coin gives H, so TH, and both the coins gives tails. So the possible outcomes are S is equal to HH, HT, TH and TT. Let us see one more problem here. Problem number 2. Find the sample space for the experiment of tossing a coin repeatedly and of counting of the number of tosses required until the first head appears. You see, once again, find the sample space for the experiment of, what is the experiment of? Tossing a coin repeatedly and counting the number of tosses required until the first head appears. Let us go for solution. Clearly, all possible outcomes for these experiments are the terms of the sequences. 1. Suppose if you are tossing a coin, first time maybe head may come, or second time may come, or third time may come. Thus, S is equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on. Note that there are infinite outcomes. Now, I am coming to the second point. So far, we have discussed what is sample space, what is sample point, what is experiment, what is random experiment, what is outcome, what is trail, everything we explained. So after that, the very important concept is events. So the first concept is sample space, experiment and sample space. The second concept is event. What is an event? It is very, very important to understand this event in this subject. So, what is event? Any subset of a sample space S is called an event. Any subset of sample space S is called an event. Elementary event. A sample point of S is referred to as an elementary event. A sample point of S is referred to as an elementary event. An element in S is called sample point. Each outcome of a random experiment corresponds to a sample point. The next, certain event, elementary event, elementary event, certain event. Note that the sample space S is the subset of itself. Since S is the set of all possible outcomes, it is often called the certain set. That means universal set is known as the certain set. Note that the sample space S is the subset of itself. Since S is the set of all possible events or outcomes, it is often called certain event. Sample space. Simply I want to tell you what is sample space. List called the sample spaces, outcomes called the sample events. This list must be exhaustive. What is the meaning of exhaustive? All possible outcomes that should be included. For example, die roll. What are the all possible 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Try to understand. The list must be mutually exclusive. That is, no two outcomes can occur at the same time. Odd number of or even number. Suppose if you want to dice roll, odd number or even number are the examples. Number less than 4 or even number. These are all the examples. Sample space. A list of exhaustive, don't leave anything out, and mutually exclusive outcomes, impossible for two different events to occur in the same experiment, is called sample space and is denoted by S. In other words, I am saying all these things to you. You see here, the outcomes are denoted by O1, O2 up to OK. Using notation from set theory, we can represent the sample space and its outcome as S is equal to set of O1, O2 and so on to OK. Given a sample space S is equal to O1, O2 and OK, the probabilities assigned to the outcome must satisfy these requirements. What are the requirements? It means, you see the first, the probability of any outcome is between 0 and 1. This is very important. As we know, in intermediate level, we have to understand probability of any outcome is between 0 and 1. That means P of OI lies in between 0 and 1. That means 0 less than or equal to P of OI less than or equal to 1 for each I. And that is the one point you have to remember. The second point is the sum of the probabilities of all outcomes equal to 1. That means if you are summing of all the outcomes, sum of the probabilities of all the outcomes, if you are adding them, that gives equal to 1. That is symbolically we have to mathematical representation. Sigma I is equal to 1 to k, P of OI is equal to 1. All of you please see. You can write this one as, that is P of O1 plus P of O2 plus P of OK, like that. Sum of all probabilities of the outcomes equal to 1. Now I am coming to the relative frequency. What is a relative frequency? A random experiment with the sample spaces, we shall assign no negative number, that is very important, non-negative number called probability to each event in the sample space. Let A be a particular event in S. then the probability of event is denoted by P of A. This is very important notation. While I am entering into subject, what is P of A? P of A means the probability of event A. P of A. A is an event. All of you, how to read P of A? The probability of event A. Once again, I want to tell you, A be a particular event in sample space of particular experiment. Then the probability of event A is denoted by P of A. Suppose that a random experiment is repeated n times. If event A occurs n of A times, then the probability of event A is denoted by P of A. Try to understand probability of event A. Suppose that the random experiment is repeated n times. If the event A occurs NA times, then the probability of event is defined as relative frequency. Relative frequency means we have to understand what is relative frequency definition. The probability of an event is defined as P of A is equal to limit n tends to infinity n of A by A, where n of A by n is called the relative frequency of event A. N of A by n is called the relative frequency of event A. What is n of A? Suppose if event A occurs n of A times, then the probability of event A, that is denoted by P of A, that is equal to limit n tends to infinity n of A by n, where n, small n, means the random experiment is repeated n times. So I want to tell you some more things about relative frequency. N of A by n, that is called relative frequency of event A. The relative frequency value is always lies in between 0 and 1. That means 0 less than or equal to n of A by n less than or equal to 1. The relative frequency value lies between 0 and 1. If A occurs in none of the n repeated trials and n of A by n is equal to 1, if A occurs in all of the n repeated trials, that you have to understand. Next point I want to tell you is, if A and B are mutually exclusive events, suppose A and B are mutually exclusive events, n of A union B is equal to n of A plus n of B. This is very useful relation. You have to understand this one. A and B are mutually exclusive. Mutually exclusive means, compared to the set theory, it is a disjoint set, no common elements. That means intersection is pi set. That means A intersection B is equal to pi. Mutually exclusive events. A and B are mutually exclusive events, then n of A union B is equal to n of A plus n of B. But from the definition of the sets, we know this is n of A plus n of B minus intersection is also there, but here it is not there. Therefore, n of A union B by n is equal to n of A by n plus n of B by n. Next, I want to go for axioms of the probability. What are the axioms of the probability? There are three axioms are there. For any event A, we assign a number probability P of A called the probability of the event A. For any event we can assign a number, that means the probability of an event, that is called P of A. This number satisfies the following three conditions that act the axioms of the probability. P of A is greater than or equal to 0. P of A probability value is always greater than 0, but that lies between 0 to 1. Probability is a non-negative number, that you have to remember, it's very important. P of A probability is greater than or equal to 0, that means probability is a non-negative number. Next, P of W is equal to 1 means the probability of the whole set, probability of the whole set is unity. These are the two axioms. The third one we have to understand is, first you please remember these two things. What are the two things? First one is P of A is greater than or equal to 0, that means probability is a non-negative number. The next, probability of the whole set is unity. Probability of the whole set is unity. The third one is, if A is A of A union B is equal to P of A and P of B. That means, here you please remember, in these slides union is replaced with some other symbols because they are not coming here. A union B is equal to F. If A union B is equal to F, then P of A union B is equal to P of A plus P of B. Please try to understand, probability of A union B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B. This is the third this one. If the sample space S is not finite, then the axiom 3 must be modified as follows. How we have to modify is, if A1, A2 and so on is an infinite sequence of mutually exclusive events in S of AI intersection AJ is equal to 5, then P of union of I is equal to 1 to infinity AI is equal to sigma I is equal to 1 to infinity P of AI. These axioms satisfy our institutive notation of the probability measure and obtain from the notation of relative frequency. So you note that 3 satisfies that if A and B are mutually exclusive events, the probability of their union is the sum of their probabilities. You have to understand. What are the events here? The probability of an event is sum of the probabilities of the simple events that constitute the event. Example, assuming a fair dice, what is the sample space? Sample space is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Suppose if you are throwing a die, 1 may come, 2 may come, 3 may come, 4 may come, 5 may come and 6 may come. All the possible outcomes of a fair die is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6, that we know. Probability of 1 is equal to probability of 2 is equal to probability of 3 is equal to and so on probability of 6. That means the probability of each event to occur is 1 by 6. Then suppose if you want to occur the even possibilities, that means out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, even means 2, when the 2, 4, 6 occur means P of even is equal to P of 2 plus P of 4 plus P of 6. That is 1 by 6, 1 by 6 plus 1 by 6. That is equal to 3 by 6, that is half. So even probability is half. coming to the conditional probability, coming to the joint probability and conditional probability, you have to understand. Before that, we have to understand what is this conditional probability. The conditional probability of an event A given event B denoted by P of A by B is defined as P of A by B is equal to P intersection B by P of B, where P of B should be greater than 0, where P of A intersection B is the joint probability of A and B. In this also, I want to give you what is joint probability. P of A intersection B is the joint probability of A and B. Therefore, you have to understand this notation, very important. What is the meaning of P of A by B? This means the probability or conditional probability of an event A is given as B. So here the conditional probability is B of event A. The conditional probability of event A is B is given. You see, conditional probability is used to determine how two events are related. That is, we can determine the probability of one event. We can determine the probability of one event given the occurrence of the another related event. You see here, what is experiment? Random selection of one student in a class. Suppose a randomly selected student is a male, that is equal to randomly selected student is male student is third row. Conditional probabilities are written as P of A by B and read as the probability of A given B. What is the probability of A? Probability of A is something, or something, that something is B here, and is calculated like this. Conditional probability, you have to P of A by B. That means conditional probability of P of A is B, then P of A intersection B by PB. All of you please remember here, this B is down here, this is also down here. You see here, this is down, this is down. P of A intersection B is equal to, we are cross multiplying that one. P of A intersection B means P of A multiplied by probability of B A, that is equal to P of B multiplied P of AB. Both are true. Keep this in mind. We can write like this. P of A by B is equal to A, that means probability of event, conditional probability of event A is B, therefore P of B is in the down, in denominator. P of A intersection B is in numerators both the times, but here probability of A is B, that means P of B comes here. Suppose probability of event B is A, PA comes down. You have to remember these two things. So P of A by B is equal to P of A intersection B by PB. P of B by A is equal to P of A intersection B by PA. That is the conditional probability. Now let us comes to the Bayes rule. You please understand, this Bayes rule is a modification of this conditional probability. We can also say that the total probability also we can say. Before going to the total probability, we have to do that Bayes law. The definition of conditional probability applies to any of the two events. In particular, let B be one of the events defined in the total probability, then P of B by A is equal to P of A by B. You have to remember like this. Bayes' law is named for Thomas Bayes, an 18th century mathematician. In its most basic form, we know P of B by A, that means probability of event B is conditional probability of event B is A. We can apply Bayes' law to determine conditional probability of event A is B. If it is like this, we can interchange these two also. The probabilities P of A and P of A complement are called prior probabilities. P of A and A complement, P of A complement, because they are determined prior to the decision about taking the preparatory courses. The conditional probability P of A is B is called posterior probability or revised probability, because the prior probability is revised after the decision about taking the preparatory course. Now coming to the total probability theorem. What is total probability theorem? Take events AI where I is equal to 1 to k to b. The probability P of A of any event A defined on a sample space S can be expressed in the terms of conditional probabilities. We know. Suppose we are given n mutually exclusive events. For example, AI is equal to 1 to n, whose union equals S. That means AI intersection A is equal to 0 for all I and J. That means mutually exclusive. AI intersection AJ is equal to, so intersection of 2 is mutually exclusive. What is the meaning of exhaustive? Means by including A1 to AK, the total gives the sample space. For any event B on S, probability of B is equal to probability of B AI, then A1, then total things we have to get. Probability of A1 plus probability of so on, probability of B AK into P of probability of AK. Coming to this here, sigma I is equal to 1 to k, probability of B by AI is equal to probability of A. Bayes' theorem follows like this. Probability of AJ is B, then probability of AJ intersection B by PB minus probability of B by AJ dot PA by sigma of probability of B AI into probability of I. Coming to the independence. What is independent events? The concept of statistically independent events. We are going to introduce here the concept of statistically independent events. Of course, here may involve any number of events in general. It is most instructive to consider the simplest possible cases of the two events. You see here, do A and B depend on one another? If the answer is yes, B more likely to be true if A should be more likely if B. If independent means A intersection B is equal to P of A dot P of B. That means whenever they are independent, as set theory A intersection B is equal to this multiplication comes here. If dependent P of A intersection B is not equal to P of A, P of B, I am giving two cases. If independent, P of A intersection B is multiplication of the probabilities, P of A dot P of B. Suppose if it is dependent, P of A intersection B is not equal to P of A, P of B. That you have to understand. That is the case for intersection. Suppose if we are coming to the union, A union B, P of probability of A union B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. Suppose it is intersection, P of A intersection B is equal to probability of event B is A into P of A. So this is how we have to understand. This is the brief introductory about all those things in the probability. I am going to explain each one along with the problems in coming videos. Thank you.